Marcus Garvey, a Jamaican-born political leader and founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, was one of the most influential figures in Black history. However, his meteoric rise as a champion of Black pride, self-reliance, and Pan-Africanism was met with resistance from various quarters, including prominent African-American leaders. In 1927, Garvey was deported from the United States after being convicted of mail fraud, a charge that remains controversial to this day. His deportation was not solely a result of government action. It was also influenced by the tensions and rivalries between Garvey and several prominent African-American figures of his time. In 1919, Garvey launched the Black Star Line, a shipping enterprise designed to connect the African diaspora economically and symbolically to Africa. The venture aimed to foster Black economic independence and provide a tangible step toward Garvey's Back to Africa movement. While the Black Star Line inspired many, it faced financial and operational difficulties, including accusations of mismanagement. The federal government, led by J. Edgar Hoover, then a young agent in the Bureau of Investigation, closely monitored Garvey's activities. Hoover viewed Garvey as a threat to American social and racial order, and sought to discredit him. Under Hoover's direction, the Bureau of Investigation investigated Garvey for fraud. In 1923, Garvey was arrested and charged with mail fraud related to a stock advertisement for the Black Star Line. The government alleged that Garvey falsely advertised the purchase of a ship, the SS Phyllis Wheatley, which had not yet been acquired. Although Garvey maintained his innocence, claiming he was targeted for his political beliefs, he was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison. After serving 2 years, his sentence was commuted and he was deported to Jamaica in 1927. While the U.S. government played a significant role in Garvey's deportation, internal divisions within the Black community also contributed. Some African-American leaders opposed Garvey's methods and ideologies, fearing they undermined their own efforts for racial equality. These rivalries, rooted in ideological and class differences, exacerbated the challenges Garvey faced. W.E.B. Du Bois, a co-founder of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, was one of Garvey's most vocal critics. Du Bois described Garvey as a little fat black man, ugly, but with intelligent eyes and a big head. This animosity stemmed from deep ideological differences. While Garvey promoted Black nationalism and separatism, Du Bois advocated for integration and collaboration with white allies to achieve civil rights. Du Bois and the NAACP were particularly critical of Garvey's Back to Africa movement, which they viewed as impractical and potentially harmful to the broader fight for equality in the United States. Du Bois accused Garvey of exploiting his followers and publicly called for his removal from leadership. The NAACP's opposition to Garvey provided indirect support to government efforts to discredit him. A. Philip Randolph and Chandler Owen, editors of the socialist magazine The Messenger, were also staunch critics of Garvey. They accused him of being an opportunist and questioned the financial integrity of the Black Star Line. Randolph and Owen believed Garvey's separatist rhetoric was counterproductive and divisive, detracting from the labor rights and civil rights movements they championed. Their attacks on Garvey in The Messenger provided ammunition for the U.S. government and white media to portray him as a fraud and a demagogue. Randolph and Owen's critiques amplified the divisions within the Black community, weakening collective efforts for empowerment. The opposition to Garvey was also rooted in class differences. Many African-American leaders, particularly those in the NAACP and other middle-class organizations, viewed Garvey's appeal to the working class and rural Black population with disdain. They were uncomfortable with his mass appeal and flamboyant style, which they felt undermined their more formal academic approach to racial progress. Garvey's deportation marked the decline of the UNIA as a mass movement in the United States. Without his charismatic leadership, the organization struggled to maintain its momentum. However, his ideas and legacy endured, continuing to inspire future generations of activists. Worldwide, his Pan-Africanism call for African unity. This influenced leaders like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana and Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya, who credited him as a foundational figure in Africa's independence movements. Activists such as Malcolm X, whose parents were Garveyites, and Martin Luther King Jr. drew inspiration from Garvey's vision of Black pride and self-reliance. Black nationalism, Organizations like the Nation of Islam and the Black Panther Party echoed Garvey's themes of economic empowerment and self-determination. Conclusion. Marcus Garvey's deportation was the result of a complex interplay of government persecution and internal divisions within the black community. While the U.S. government under J. Edgar Hoover sought to suppress Garvey's influence, the public opposition from prominent African American leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois and A. Philip Randolph contributed to his downfall. Despite this, Garvey's philosophy of black pride, economic independence, and Pan-Africanism has left an indelible mark on history. His deportation did not silence his message. Rather, it cemented his legacy as one of the most influential figures in the fight for black empowerment and global unity. Thanks for listening. If you like content like this, please subscribe to Jamaican Diaspora channel. Please like and share this video.